What is up, guys? I am just making a real quick post on Facebook here to hopefully try to drive some more people in. But once I get that done, which won't take me but a couple more seconds here, we will figure out something to do. Okay, so that's done. It has honestly been a hot minute since I've done pretty much anything related to Farm Sim, honestly. Like, at least probably close to a month. It's just been one of those things. I started this project a while ago and just haven't got around to getting it finished quite yet. Look cool, but I just haven't got around to finishing it. So I think that's what we might work on tonight. Is just kind of messing around. Try to help out. Like people have questions or something, I can not necessarily do like one on one, but do enough stuff that yeah, y'all get the drill. So anyway, we are also live in Discord. Um, so yeah, we will. I don't really know. Let's get it. So if you are in the Discord, we are in just VC channels and Hangout one. So uh, that's just kind of where I sit. Those buttons always been there. I feel like the layout's different. I don't know why. I really don't know why the layout feels like it's different, but it definitely does. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of it. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, like I said, I'm just gonna kind of just work on little things that I kind of been needing. I don't really have any plans for break. I'm not really going anywhere, so there's a solid chance that this building might actually get done over break. We will have to see how it goes. I think my main thing I'm trying to focus on now at the moment is trying to get this drywall texture to look right. It doesn't look awful. I'd like it to look better, but unfortunately, if you go to Chrome and search in drywall texture for Substance Painter, there's really hardly any textures. Like there's plaster wall, but like it's old. Like it's not really what I'm wanting. So I don't really. I can't actually remember what this texture was. I used it. We'll see what there's in the community side. That's a lot of bricks. See what it falls under plaster here. That one doesn't look awful. That actually might be what's on there. It still doesn't look drywally though. Like it just doesn't look. Let's see if I can somehow. I was hoping there would be a way I could like switch over to like a different encoder because I feel like I'm behind a lot. But I don't really see where I do that at, so just be what it is. So anyway, I just I don't really feel like this is like what I want, if that makes sense. Actually, let me open Substance Painter here. The only I only complained about using Substance Painter on a 4K monitor is the fact that like the UI is so small. Like it is so freaking small. It is insane. Recent files. Of course I didn't save it. Okay. Let's see here and see if there's one of these I've imported. I don't know what it. Yeah, I really don't know what that texture is. So, I think I'll just leave it. We'll see how it turns out in the end. So, there's still a lot of work to do. I gotta get pretty much everything else done. I don't know why I started on this, but I just did. Gotta put walls in, doors, etc. All the fun stuff. So, but yeah. Once it's done, it should be a fairly nice building, but we'll see. Also, y'all don't be afraid to chat. Like, I am all for helping people out if you have questions or whatnot. Like, I actively enjoy talking with you guys. So, what the heck? Is that floating? Or is it just the way Blender's rendering right now? I don't think it's floating. It shouldn't be floating. Interesting. Okay. But anyway, so that is kind of what we were doing there. So there's like a little office, and then, you know, I think I was planning on having like a kitchen here, and then, you know, like a break room area here. There's not really like a template for this building, so I'm just kind of doing it how I'd ideally want a building set up. So, but it will be fairly decently sized, uh, measurement wise, because I mean, the doors itself is 78, and then that's the width of everything, and the whoa, that's new. I didn't even know that was possible. Now I don't know how to snap it back to 180. Interesting. Okay, well, now we know not to do that again. Uh, yeah, so it's pretty much an 80 by 80 shop with 3 bay doors. So I'm hoping that, you know, I felt like we've been missing something like this for a while now. So, but it should be long enough to accommodate majority of semi setups and everything. That's kind of what my goal was, honestly. When I was doing all of it, 'cause I just got tired of not having like any nice shop building stuff. Like the ones that are on the mod hub are just so subpar quality, and then others that are PC only are just kind of not really what I want to have my on my operation, if that makes sense. So not that they're bad, they just don't really necessarily match what I want to do. So with that being said, I didn't think about it. I did all that plaster work and then I forgot to put a roof in there. So much for that. So we will go and put a roof on real fast. The way I set this up is kind of weird, and I'm not actually a big fan of it. So anyway, so we're actually going to end up retexturing it, which is a-okay in my opinion. We're actually going to download this stuff. Oh, I'm going to move this up here so y'all steal my Adobe login. Dun, 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 dun. Man, y'all are quiet tonight. My lordy. Oh, hey, we finally have someone over in the VC.
Hello?
So, that's awesome. So, but yeah, so we're just gonna kind of hang out, chill. We're like I said, mentioned earlier, we are still live over in Discord. So, for the you guys that are over there, so we're gonna smart unwrap this. So this is where we talk about UV route maps. That's kind of how we uh, set all that up and take on. So, but anyway, so basically when that happens is it makes this kind of map of all these faces. So if I were to just click unwrap, it looks really ugly like this. I don't really know why it does that. Like I don't understand what it means when I hit unwrap. It just does that. So um, I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay. So but then if I go to UV smart unwrap and then increase island margin, that way so it's not like right next to each other, it does this, which is a lot nicer than what it was. So so then now that that's done, what I'm gonna do is go to file, gonna export as FBX, and it looks like I'm already been doing this stuff. We're gonna go office walls and export it out. Also gonna go to file, import resources, add resources, go to downloads, import the plaster. That is going to be a base material. And then if you import it to library, your assets, or whatever your library is called there, it'll like stay with you. But if you only use this in session, it will only use it for that time that Adobe's open. So, or if that Substance Painter's open. So we're gonna go new. We're gonna select office walls. We'll go 2048. I don't really want to use a 4K texture if I don't have to. Oops, I made a mistake. So we'll go back here, export, FBX. When you're exporting individual shapes out, make sure you do selected objects. Because if you forget to select that just like that, it'll export the entire thing out. So you don't really want to do that. So we'll try this again. Go new. These buttons are so stinking tiny. I could not imagine if I had this on the widescreen. I'd be like having to like reach over to read what it says. Office. Large shop office. I guess that's what we saved it at this time. Just renaming things, I guess, over here. We're gonna hit discard. But yeah, that looks a lot better. So so some of these walls are just one-sided. That's just kind of how I set it up to make it, you know, less poly basically, because I mean you're not gonna see because there'll be metal on the outside, so there's not really a point in having it to be both-sided, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna go mode, bake mesh maps. We're gonna bake these at a 4K. That doesn't necessarily mean that the texture itself will be 4K. I don't think I set any color ID up, but I will make sure just in case. And we'll go bake selected. So yeah, feel free to chat. I know there's 3 or 4 of you guys. I don't know. YouTube's kind of been bouncing around a little bit, but yeah, feel free to talk, ask questions, hang out. Kind of what we're here for. I know it's not the most exciting stuff ever, but I just haven't really been in the mood to play FS lately, and so mainly because like tonight's like the first time in a while I've had any free time, I'll be honest. So holy crap, does that plaster look awful. Okay, this is why I'm very cautious of what I'll end up doing here. This is also a good thing to say that just because a texture looks good on there does not mean it will actually be a decent texture. And a lot of times what can happen is like you might accidentally import it like a different uh, file or something. So like instead of that, I'm going to change it to what would be like a texture just to see if that changes anything. So we'll do this. So then that's just going to basically import it as an image. And then, so now it's trying to put it up on the roof. I don't know. I've never really used this, so I don't really. Yeah, that's also not the way to use it. Some textures just don't always look the most amazing. Like it looked decent online, but a lot of times what happens is when you try to like actually use it, it doesn't look well. So I think that's kind of what's happening here. I just cannot remember what I used. It's almost got to be like a papery. I don't know. I don't know if there's a UDIM texture that I actually enjoyed. I mean, ideally, I guess if like I want to make it like fancy, we could just use like wood paneling or something. But I didn't really set the UV map up for that, unfortunately. I don't know. I'll probably look really weird. Doesn't look awful, but definitely doesn't look the best. At least the walls are facing the same direction. We might be able to work with that a little bit here. This is also the bad thing about using like these textures instead of like other textures is like it's a lot more work to adjust those. That UV map is way too in depth. Like I said, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot more than people could realize, honestly. I just don't really feel like it looks cheesy. That's how I feel on it. Could just throw plywood on it, I guess. I mean, it's a shop building, so get the job done, I guess. But I don't. Oh, I don't really. If you guys have any ideas, drop them in the comments. I don't know how. Like 20 minutes, so. But yeah, so I don't. This is the pain sometimes. I ain't gonna lie with you. And that doesn't look awful. I'd rather it be a little bit brighter. So need to rotate it 90 degrees. Take that to 5. It looks like wood paneling. Actually, in real life, that would be a 0. Wood paneling goes up and down. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look awful. Seen worse. I don't know if there's a way for me to. I like the birch look. I might just roll with that. We'll see how it looks in Blender. Things kind of vary between like what they look like in Substance Painter, what they look like in Blender, and what they look at in the game. So it's hard to feel comfortable on a lot of it. So awesome. That will go to shading. Here, this will be under Substance Painter Export. So there and do that. It's supposed to be the normal map. I messed up. There's that, and then we'll go add input. Image texture. Color to base color. Office walls. Yeah, that doesn't look awful, but definitely seen worse. It's definitely like a late 90s, early 2000s kind of look. So, but yeah, so. Well, I think I'm actually going to end it here. I was hoping there'd be a lot more, people watching. There's been 2 for the last 5 minutes. So, well, now there's 0. So, I do appreciate you guys. For those of you that did watch, maybe next time will be better. Maybe we'll actually do gameplay or something next time. But I appreciate you. Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay warm.